Beirut, Lebanon. Backed by Russian and Iranian firepower, the Syrian forces of President Bashar al-Assad reached besieged troops on Tuesday at a garrison in Deir al-Zor, a city in eastern Syria, breaking a nearly three-year blockade by Islamic State militants. Re-entering Deir al-Zor would move the Syrian forces and their allied Iranian-backed militias a step closer to controlling the oil-rich eastern province of the same name, which borders Iraq. Such a move would also expand Iran's influence in the area. But it could still take weeks, if not months, for Mr. Assad's forces to retake all of Deir al-Zor from the militant group, which controls about 60% of its neighborhoods. Mr. Assad congratulated his troops on breaking the siege, calling it a resounding victory against the militants, and vowed to forge ahead until the last inch of Syrian territory was liberated. President Vladimir V Putin of Russia, whose military had fired cruise missiles at Islamic State's targets near the city, called it a strategically important victory over terrorists. Mr. Assad's critics called it an alarming development. It opens the whole province for Iran and its agents there, said Mozzahum al-Saloom, an opposition activist from Deir al-Zor who has been in exile since 2013. Militias backed by Iran and the Lebanese militant organization Hezbollah form the core of the pro-Assad forces advancing on Deir al-Zor, Mr. Saloom said. Iran has been seeking to secure a land corridor from its territory, through Iraq, to the Mediterranean to give it unhindered access to its allies in Syria and Lebanon. Control of Deir al-Zor is a major step forward for the plan. The advances by the Syrian troops could provide some relief for the tens of thousands of civilians trapped in the four government-controlled neighborhoods that have been surrounded by the extremists since 2015. The Syrian government estimates that 70,000 people have survived on erratic airdrops of food and supplies during the siege. Activists said, however, that the new access road could not yet be used for delivering humanitarian assistance because it was still under attack from Islamic State fighters. Since 2015, the Syrian government and the Islamic State have controlled separate sections of Deir al-Zor, Syria's largest eastern city. Extremists hold the province and are expected to fight the last battles there. The Islamic State fighters have lost all other major cities they once controlled, including Mosul and Tal Afar in Iraq. Forces backed by the United States are bearing down on Raqqa, the Islamic State's self-proclaimed capital, which is northwest of Deir al-Zor.